Hello, welcome to the CRL Show. I'm Paul Arandale.
I'm Geoff Stevenson.
Another big weekend of footy in the can. So did you go out and see anything on the weekend?
Yeah, I went to the country venue of Hansen Park, Newtown, which was fantastic to watch the Canaries play against De La Salle, the city game. It was their beer and food festival, so I had a lot of one of them and a little bit of the other.
Yeah.
You could probably guess which way.
Yeah.
Probably not what people guess. I had a lot of food. It was fantastic. A great day out there. We'll see some highlights later on in the show. But, oh, man, like, seriously, it was great. There were some Dapto fans in the crowd. People had travelled up the coast, so good on them. And they had reason to celebrate the trip. So, it was great day.
Yes, we joked about it last week. So it was like the country version of Magic Round, taking a bush game country game, I should say, to the city.
Yeah.
And well done from the Newtown Jets. It looked like a superb atmosphere, or it was.
And it really, it wasn't a huge number of Dapto fans, but you do think country fans travel more often probably than a Metro fan.
Yeah.
You know? So they're probably, if they kept doing a few things like this and said, look, have a weekend in the Big Smoke, the Dapto fans were definitely happy with their decision, I think, for various reasons. So, no, it was a great day.
Yeah, well, they might pop up a little shortly anyway. But lots of good footy played. We've got a few moments from the weekend. We'll get them up for you. Now, if you're watching or listening, Canberra Rugby League, some twists down there. 3 upsets. Goulburn City upset Queanbeyan Blues to keep their slim finals hopes alive. Well done to the Bulldogs. And then Tuggeranong upsetting Queanbeyan Kangaroos. It's now 7 in a row for Tuggeranong, so they've got 4th, but it's not guaranteed that they're going to make the finals yet. They've got to keep winning. And then up at Yass, the Magpies haven't had much success this year, defeated the 3rd place West Belconnen. See here, West Belconnen were down. I think they were down like 20-6 at one stage, West Bell. They fought back. They thought they'd snatched a point. Then right on full time, the Maggies get a penalty, kick the goal from the sideline. And it wasn't in front. It was on the sideline, 30-odd out. And the conversion successful. Magpies celebrate the win. And, just makes that last couple of rounds of the Canberra Rugby League competition very, very interesting. Woden Valley losing 2 points just opens the door, I say, for Tuggeranong to get there late. Down in Group 7, it was the feature match, the top of the table, the Battle of Shell Harbour. Stingrays getting a point, the Sharks getting a point.
Yeah.
It just opens the door for Kiama and Gerringong possibly to take the premiership. Now, who knows what's going to happen down there? It's the closest comp in years.
It's as you can see, it's a high quality game. I couldn't split this game last week, and in the end, neither could they, kind of thing. So it's sort of like, I can't pick a winner, and it's probably apt that there was a draw in the end. What a way to finish, though. Yeah,
apologies. Albion Park's also on the top 5. They're also knocking on the door, so it's going to be a tight one. Finished the draw, the feature match then at Maitland. 0-0 for about 60 minutes. The entrance led 6-0. Maitland struck late, and then Brock Lamb field goal sealed the 2 points for the Maitland Pickers to stay top of the Newcastle Rugby League, the Proten Cup. Well done to the Pickers. They've got a few injuries, but they still keep churning out the wins. They find a way to do it. Yeah,
it's a great game to watch. It's so funny because the Canberra Cup and the Shell Harbour game, they were the two probably comps where I was pretty confident knowing. I was like, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a Queanbeyan Grand Final. Yeah. Then we have last weekend happen. It's sort of the same thing with both Shell Harbour teams. They're going to be confidently in their Group 7, but then that happens, with a draw. So I guess, just like you say, opens the door a bit for Kiama and other teams. But I said last week, some of these teams that are on the fringe or are not going to make the finals, they're going to want to finish big. So it's that time of year where upsets are very much likely, very possible. And, pretty much watch one myself on the weekend.
Yeah, obviously we're getting very close to the semi-finals. A few of our commentators, they're going to send in their tips as well of grand final winners of not only the competitions that they cover, but also some of the other competitions on BarTV. Last year we had a crack, and what did we get? 6-5 or something out of 11 or 12. So we'll see how our other expert commentators go and see if they can do any better or any worse.
And if there's any tips, I've sort of penciled mine in, but if anyone wants to comment somewhere underneath anything you're watching or listening to here, let us know what you think, because I want some inside mail maybe for people to say, nah, like Claytons are definitely a lock-in for Group 7 now, or something like that. If you got an opinion, send it in. I'd love to know.
Yeah, shoe-in, and you were out and about. You said you were down at Hansen Park. You had a few moments for us.
Yeah, it was like Hansen Park was, you couldn't get it perfect weather. Look at the crowd, it's amazing. When I normally go there, that's a dog park, and they actually allow you to have your dogs off lead on the hill. I don't know, I didn't see any dogs. I didn't see a sign saying you weren't allowed to bring them in, but Jesus, it was intense. What's his name? He rides the scooter around every time Newtown scores a try. A guy rides his scooter around the course. He was struggling, but that was beautiful weather. And then you headed up the coast. I saw some other footage from Warwick as well. It was pouring there, but this was a reserve grade in Springfield, and the game after this, first grade, was called off. I'm glad they got through this game. These are the games that I reckon players never forget. You know, these games. You remember that game where it was so wet, we were essentially swimming as we got tackled, or there was almost a reported drowning from one of the wingers that got put into touch. But it was fantastic footy. It really. Some people sort of say wet weather footy can, dampen the game and stuff like that. But, oh, man, the intensity in trying to tackle, is that number 20 earlier on, trying to tackle a dude, 120-kilo dude, and he's like a seal, he's that slippery. It's not easy. Yeah, so that was Ipswich. I know also, too, if check out the Canberra Region Rugby League Facebook page. They got video of one of the grounds that got called off down there. Yeah. I think there's a ground manager or the trainer or something walking on the ground. It was like he was walking on a waterbed or something. It's just unbelievable the amount of water that fell there. But and good on, amazing. We look at those players having fun. There's volunteers, as we always say, behind all those games, and they're standing in the rain. They're probably not having as much fun. They don't get to jump around in it and have a shower afterwards. So good on those people that turned up. And even the groundsman down at Canberra, you have to go out there to call it off, but get absolutely saturated in the meantime. So good on those guys and gals.
All right, we'll get into some results that happened on the weekend. We'll kick things off first. It was BRL round 17, getting closer to semi-finals up there. Carina 20-10 over Wests. Redcliffe 23-14 over Valleys, and Wynnum 40-14 over Souths.
Yeah, Gold Coast getting business end again, round 14. Burleigh in a close one, 18-12 against Tugun, had a crack. Helensvale 62-16 against Southport, and Currumbin went down to Runaway Bay, 36-14.
Ipswich round 11, just saw a bit of the weather up there. The Jets v Brothers game was actually cancelled after that reserve grade game. It was it's just too damp. Yeah. But the other fixtures, they went ahead. Redbank Plains 42-4 over North Tigers, and West End 16-4 over Fassy Fern.
Beautiful up sunny Sunshine Coast, a bit damp up there, but round 15 got away. Maroochydore won in a close one against Coolum. Kawana 6-4 against Caloundra. Stanley comfortable again, absolutely charging, 68 points to 4. Noosa defeated Beerwah 26-22.
Where are we? Canberra at round 15. Belconnen United 16-6 over Gungahlin. As we just saw moments ago, Tuggeranong 18-8 over Queanbeyan Kangaroos. Yass 22-20 over West Belconnen, and Goulburn City 14-12 over Queanbeyan Blues. Yeah,
Group 7 was good footy in every game. In round 14, Jamboree just went down to Berry, 32 points to 28. Gerringong defeated Albion Park, 28 points to 4. Kiama comfortable against Milton Ulladulla, 46-16. And, of course, Shell Harbour in the Stingrays was 16-all draw.
Newcastle, round 15, Cessnock 30-6 over Lakes, West 40-20 over Northern Hawks, Maitland 7-6 over the Entrance, Curry another win 24-18 over Wyong, and South 40-18 over Macquarie.
Yeah, and Illawarra round 12, Dapto got up. They won 18 points to 4 against De La Salle. The Collies were comfortable against Corrimal, 34 points to 8, and West were back to their winning ways, 28 points to 12.
NRRL round 13, Casino had a big win over Northern United, 56-12. Ballina 38-16 in the Battle of the Seagulls. Mullumbimby 38-8 over Tweed Coast. Murwillumbah 28-14 over Kyogle. Bilamble 58-6 over Byron Bay. Coogin 26-6 over Evans Head. And Morris Brothers 30-6 over Lower Clarence.
Yeah, now Group 9, sort of not... We usually expect a big score involved when it comes to Wagga Brothers, but they went down this week, but it was a pretty close one. Tamora defeated them 22 points to 10. Kangaroos, 18 points to 8 against Junee. Tumut, 24 points to 4 against South City. Young just got there over Gundagai, 22 points to 20. And Albury, 28-6 against Cootamundra.
Yeah, no Group 9 this weekend. They're having a bye weekend or a weekend off. I know they had the carnival at Junee for the juniors, so they've taken the week off. But Brothers will travel to Les Boyd Oval in a fortnight to take on Cootamundra.
That'd be interesting.
So it'd be interesting to see who gets the start and how much it is.
Yeah.
We could see that Challenge Cup change hands, possibly.
It'll be interesting considering how Brothers play this week, how much that affects the start, and they've got it at least for one more week because they can enjoy it during the bye.
Yeah. Where are we? Knock-on effect Cup, New South Wales, round 21. Western Suburbs 24-22 over Norths. Warriors, another big win, 68-6. I think that's 13 or 14 in a row now for the New Zealand Warriors. Yeah. Penrith 34-40 went down to Manly. Newtown 40-16 over St George Illawarra. Canberra 28-16 over Newcastle. Canterbury 26-24 over Sydney.
Yeah, they're now down to Harvey Norman Premiership round 4. We've got Illawarra defeated Penrith 16 points to 6. Mounties defeated Wentworthville 28 points to 6. South Sydney versus St George 26-4 against South 1. Central Coast went down to Canterbury 30 points to 18. Parramatta defeated Newcastle 16 points to 12. And Cronulla defeated the Tigers 38 points to 6.
Finally, round 17 of the Ron Massey Cup, Glebe 62-6 over Blacktown Workers. Brothers 32-26 over Hills, and Wentworthville 18-12 over Mounties. St Mary's 57-4 over Canterbury. Right Eastwood had the bye. That was their magic round.
Yeah, nice.
So well done.
Yeah, fantastic. There's some close games there, and yeah, we're like you say, some comps are only a few rounds away from wrapping it up.
Yep. All right, let's wrap things up. No, we're not going to wrap things up. We're going to go into the tries of the week. As we always say, if you've seen better or you think that there's one that's worthy shown, let us know and we can either show it on our socials. But here are our tries of the week. Kick things off, Jai Davis of the Lismore Morris Brothers Rams. This is first grade, restarting from the kickoff. Always good to see a front row breaking the line, starting things up here.
A bit of pace too.
Backing up, Shaylin Fuller tackles himself, gets up, pops the pass to Jai Davis, who then still has a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
But, gets
From
away.
The kickoff, fantastic.
Scores a great try.
Yeah.
We're off next to Townsend Oval, South Newcastle Lions. Liam Richards on the end of this one, under 19s. Here's the winger, lovely casual flick pass inside.
Gorgeous.
And Liam Richards comes around to improve the position. Great little try there from South's under 19s. Back down to Tamora, I should say, reserve grade. Jeffrey Robert here on this one. He starts near from his own 30, breaks through a couple, puts the big fend off. What do you do here? You're the fullback and winger. You just get skittled like 10 pins. And Jeffrey scores a great try for the Dragons.
Yeah. Made it look easy. Made it look like he was a centre or a winger there. But, I wouldn't want to be tackling him.
There's two more tries. That's tries of the week. We'll have them up maybe later on when the editor gets a hold of this. I don't know why they've disappeared, but they're not there.
Sure, they're great.
Yeah, they were. One in particular, Penrith v Manly. If you're listening to this, make sure you check out the mini game, that Penrith v Manly New South Wales Cup game, because there's a classic, interesting try. I'll say that.
Yeah, awesome. Cracker.
All right, mate, we may as well get into around the groups. Right,
now there's the big news really we have to head off is We're looking at the winningest teams, the Claytons Cup contenders. We've been talking about this endlessly. If you're sick of hearing about it, too bad. But Camden have had their first loss. And this is their first loss. So they won the Claytons Cup last year.
Yep.
It's their first loss since the grand final of 2023.
Wow.
So September 2023-ish, mid-September 2023 was the last time they lost. And
that was their only loss that year too, wasn't it?
I think they drew a game in April that year or something.
Yeah.
So when you look at it over a long period of time, that is an amazing effort when it comes to winning. Like they've had 2 solid years of being almost undefeated now. 3 solid years, really, of almost undefeated. So... again, when we get to the back end of the year, you don't want to say, they've stuffed up, they've lost. They're still leading the comp. They're doing really well. They've lost 1 game. But that knocks our undefeated group down to 4. We've only got Port Sharks, the Coolaroos, Merimbula Pambula and Wilgoolga are left, all of which won pretty decidedly, very confidently over the weekend. What's telling is that Coola and Merimbula Pambula have 1 regular season game to go.
Yep.
Wilgoolga has 2 and Port Sharks have 3.
All right.
They're all 14-team comps. It's just a matter of when they started their competition. So that's going to make it interesting in the next few weeks where Coola and Merimbula Pambula will be kind of like the clubhouse leaders going in. They'll be playing semi-finals and things like that.
So put you on the spot. How many teams are sitting back 1 off the pace that they've lost 1 game?
There is quite a few, and there's when you hit to like 2 game losses, there's a huge number. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think there was up in Group 3. There's a team that has had a draw, so they're just out of this club.
Yeah, okay.
They had a draw early in the season. North Tamworth, I don't know, something like that. Anyway, so there's quite a few there that are right on the edge. And to be honest, when I thought of turning this into a bit of a countdown, I thought that by this point we would have had all teams potentially have had 1 loss, and then the pool of teams in the contention will get bigger again, and that hasn't happened. And we are now down to, all Cooler has to do is win, and or Merimbula Pambula, and we're going to have at least in the regular season. We've talked about this before. There's semi-finals and that kind of stuff. I don't know whether that muddies the water. I'm pretty sure we decided last year Clayton's Cup includes all games for the year, not just semi-finals and finals, not just regular season.
I think I've said this before, and like people listening, watching, think, Paul, that's a crazy idea. But like when Liverpool, they're talking about Premier League soccer, when they win the Premiership, they have the open door bars and they do the parade down the street. How good would it be? Like, I'll just say Cooler, any one of those small towns that win the Clayton Cup, let's put them on the back of cars and parade them down the street with the trophy, if we can find where the trophy is.
That's a great idea.
And celebrate it, because I think it's something that needs to be celebrated, that, you were the best team in Country Rugby League that year.
Credit to New South Wales Rugby League. I feel like in the last few years they have actually gone to the point of doing a presentation on the Prezzo night for the team. I know they were there for Camden and they were there for Gulgong the year before. I don't know whether that's been common practice, but I think they've kind of thought, no, we've got to acknowledge this. Often I think they've just said, they might have made a press release or something, but someone from New South Wales Rugby League's gone out there. But I agree. It should be just, or I just want it displayed. I remember thinking, can I go to Gulgong last year and go and see it and just look at it at the local leagues club and get a photo with it and maybe touch it with a glove like the Melbourne Cup. Like you can't touch it with that human hands. But I reckon, I don't know whether Camden are doing that. I'd love to know. They should be like saying, right as you walk in when you're signing in these days and stuff, say, look at this. We've got the Claytons Cup right there.
Yeah.
Kids could come and get a photo with it. Tourists could stop on the way. Maybe I'm going too far.
But no, I know another sport. I haven't been down there for a number of years now, but another sport, Aussie Rules North Albury Hoppers. Yeah. You go past outside the ground, they have the scoreboard at the back, major sponsor, but they have every, like a painting or drawing of every trophy that they've won. So, premiers in 1956, whatever, 65, and they have like the gold trophy and the year, like the same thing. Like next year, celebrate it. Have something. I always maintain at Scone Rugby League, they should have a monument there, say the world's longest game of rugby league.
Yeah, like a little plaque or something.
Yeah,
like that. Just
absolutely.
someone walks past your dog and piss on or something. But I know what you mean, because I think that these things don't have meaning until young people go, oh, what is this Clayton's Cup thing?
Well, yeah, Woden Valley's just out of the race too. By the way, their jerseys just fallen off.
Oh no, is that what that was? I was wondering what that noise was. I thought we might have had a mouse or something.
Probably was.
But it's but yeah, the young kids get told, they learn Clayton's Cup's a big deal. Why? And they go, well, that sounds like a big deal. Like, what were the winningest team in the whole state? And then suddenly you only start those conversations by that stuff. What's that thing? Hey, Dad, what's that thing up on the grandstand? He said, oh, it's a mouse. Oh no, next to it. It's a monument. It's a little plaque. Or I like in basketball, they hang them from the roofs. The
pennants. Yeah, it's great.
Anyway, that's another thing that we have talked about. A lot of things that should be done, and I don't think one of them has ever been picked up. But that one could be easy-ish to organise. Talking about community cups.
That's almost sounded like something else.
I don't know what's going on today. Okay. Community cups.
Yes.
Community competitions. I think I was trying to say competitions and cups at the same time. Don't ever try that.
Yeah.
But, having a Clayton's Cup version of that, I know last time I checked, Stanthorpe in the Border League are doing pretty well. Yeah. But up at Lake Cadai, I think they've had one loss in the Hastings League. But, those, we need to have someone listen to us and actually do what we say.
Yeah. Dave Trotton, if you watch the show, whoever, Peter Volandis, I'm sure he watches this.
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, for the Community Cup one, it wouldn't take much more effort.
Yeah.
Just to announce next year we're doing it.
Yeah.
And I was always going to put it out there that you and I could present it, like wherever it is. And then I thought, God, if Ivanhoe win or something, I love the idea of going to Ivanhoe, but it's a drive.
We've had that before. A BarTV employee actually has presented a trophy. Rob, the producer, you might have seen him pop around on other things. He has presented a trophy before.
Fantastic.
So can be done.
Yeah, exactly. Well, even if it's if it has to be at West Riverina, we maybe we commit next year. We will present our own Community Cup, Challenge Cup, whatever we're going to call it. But anyway, that's Clayton's Cup for now, because I could talk forever about it. Where to next? Actually, I wanted to talk Cory Cox.
All right.
The man, this is, for those who haven't been following, the second rower from Narromine who has scored another try on the weekend. So he's got 22 tries from 11 games. I wanted to talk Castlereagh League generally too, but tribute to Cory. He's got one more game to go. I don't know whether there's that 22 is a record, but geez, it can't be far off being of note somewhere out there. Yeah. Even if it's just a club record. But another try for him on the weekend. I looked and thought, just one try. And I'm like, geez, we're getting pretty demanding of Cory Cox. Aren't you going to score a hat trick or 4 tries or like you normally do? Anyway, he's going to be on 22, so he's looking good. Just looking at Castlereagh League, they've got one more round. It is going to be a hell of a finish when you look at it. And actually, the finish of this discussion about it is going to angry up your blood, Paul. So I'm looking forward to this, because he's a very even-tempered man. I've never seen Paul lose his cool.
Let me guess. I think
okay. So Cool are at 36 points. They're undefeated. We've just been talking about them. They're looking good. Coonabarabran's on 33. It's a 5-team semi.
Yep.
They're on 33 on second. Narromine's 32 on third. So they're kind of going to fight it out a little bit. And then you've got Gulgong on 28. They're kind of somewhere in the middle there. They can't catch anyone. They can't be caught.
Yep.
Then on 5th, 6th and 7th, you've got Cobar and Dunedoo on 25 points apiece.
Okay.
And Canamble on 24. So there's a really congested finish when it comes to some of the middle parts there. In their last games, first plays second next week. So Cooler plays the Unicorns. The Unicorns can cement second place, but they'd have to beat the undefeated Cooler.
Right, okay, yep.
If they don't win that, Narromine then play Cobar, and they will pass the Unicorns into second. So there's a lot about to happen.
Yep.
And then 4th play 7th. So Gulgong play Canamble. what's interesting is Dunedoo is 6, but they have the bye. And I know Paul
I knew this was coming.
Very fixed opinions about whether buys should be worth 2 points.
Yeah.
Because they've got the bye now, Canberra cannot make the semis, even though they are behind them and only 1 point behind Dunedoo.
So Canberra's got the bye, you said, yeah.
No, Dunedoo have the bye.
Dunedoo have the bye.
So
yeah,
Canberra's behind them by 1 point. You think, they could just win and pass,
Canberra, yeah.
Cobar and Dunedoo.
Yeah.
But they can pass Cobar, but Dunedoo has got the guaranteed 2 points. So poor old Canberra are not going to make it, even though they could win on the weekend. And Canberra will sit in the stands, or they'll sit at the local Dunedoo Services Club, and they will enjoy making the finals by doing absolutely nothing. Yeah. So that's where we're at. It's going to be a big finish there.
I mean, I guess, every team gets 2 points for the bye throughout. But that brings me back to why do we even give 2 points? You've started me. Sorry.
I know. And I thought you're right.
Apologies.
If there was no points allocated to buys, the results still probably would have been the same because every other team has had their opportunity. But it has, I feel sorry for Canberra. They're going into a game where the semi-finals are just there. We are 1 point away. If we win, get 2 points, we pass. Yeah. We can pass these teams, but not Dunedoo, so they're in. So anyway, it's a congested big finish coming up for the Castlereagh League. By the way, also, Cory Cox has got 182 points for this season because he's a goal kicker as well. So 182 points in 11 games is pretty notable.
Yeah.
I then did a little bit of a lap around the country to see who else is doing well. David Williams from Stanthorpe in the Border Leagues we were talking about earlier. He scored 114 points this year.
Yep.
Ukulele Aolo, I totally muffed your name, from the Griffith Waratahs. He's got 166 points this year.
It's a good haul.
Yeah, from 13 games. Nick Greenoff from Forbes has got 151 points. Noah Forbett has got 102 points from 6 games because he's a Barellan player for the Proten, which play less games.
Yeah.
So 102 points in 6 games is pretty good.
Yeah.
And Jackson Willis at Camden. He is Andrew Willis's son. For those who are old enough to know who Andrew Willis was, he scored a heap for Camden. He scored 150 points.
Yeah, okay.
I just it's worth saying these things out loud because these players, they'll get to the end of the season, they'll probably have a good prezzo night and stuff, but moving along, I won't take too long. But Adrian Smith and Maureen Bohr scored 144 points so far. They've still got rounds to go. Ricky Whitten for Cowra scored 139 points, and Charlie Barton from the Waggaroos, 152 points.
Wow. So some good hauls there.
Yeah, some great hauls. And again, I don't know what the records are, but I just want to know that Cory Cox is still leading all of those as well. So he's crazy. Having a cracker of a season with 182 points. So good on him. And shout out Ricky Whitten. Shout out to Cowra. I've got their jacket on.
Yep.
Love it. I tell you, if you're going to buy a nice warm jacket, buy it from a country club that has cold conditions because it's just so warm. And I thought, geez, in Cowra, they must feel the cold down there, so it's fantastic. And look, lastly, Hastings League. One thing I missed this year, the Long Flat Dragons are celebrating their 100th year.
Wow, good on them.
Yeah, so the Dragons are... What I like is that there's a celebration this weekend at their home ground. They're playing the Kendall Blues, and the celebration is actually this Saturday, and the second is come to the Long Flat pub afterwards. I love when it's just a bit chilled. We're talking about community footy here, Hastings League. It's not a big ball or a big organised thing. It's just come to the pub afterwards. They're going to have nothing going on there. Got some entertainment, some singers. A bunch of old boys will be there telling tall tales and all that kind of stuff. So, I hope everyone has a great time up there. It's a great part of the world. I would love to get up there to watch a bit of footy up there and go to the pub afterwards to celebrate. The mighty Long Flat, they have a reputation, from what I see around the traps. They have some really good, like after the game, they've had bands at the ground and stuff like that. So they really know how to have a good time up there and turn the footy into a bit of a whole day entertainment thing. So good on them. Lastly, bit of Q Corner news. The Country Week was held on the weekend, and I think because it was inland, it wasn't that wet. So we're pretty lucky that all the games, so it was when Queensland Cup games were going, they were taken to the bush.
Yep.
And one thing I did note, there was not a lot of information from some of the smaller towns like Gayndah and Charters Towers and Emerald, but Goondiwindi, they had a great idea where they have 2-level kind of grandstand, and they said if you could pay $30 to be in the upper level.
Oh yeah.
And there were nibbles and a better view and all that kind of stuff, which I think, if country round's going to be a thing, or continue to be a successful thing, I should say, I love how the clubs can make the most of it and really take advantage of it, and make a bit of money for the club. I'd say everyone would have happily paid $30 and had a ball. Look, they had a big crowd out there. So good on the Queensland QRL for organising it, and good on I'm sure all the other clubs did everything they could to raise a bit of money and make it a great day.
Yeah, well done.
That's sort of mine, but I can see where you're going with don't. That's one thing I didn't miss, but The
beauty, if people are listening, they don't actually get to see me fiddling around on the computer if you're watching it. But we've got we should have the Proten Cup, I believe, happening this weekend. Now, we're recording this on Tuesday afternoon, so at this stage we don't know if it's going to be on BarTV or if it's going to be on YouTube or where it's going to be. But it's a grand final nonetheless, so we should give it 5 seconds of fame or whatever.
So they're a friend of the show, as I like to always say. Ivanhoe got through against Rankin Springs on the weekend. Probably one of those seasons where it's a really apt grand final, Narrandera and Ivanhoe, because they have dominated. Narrandera and Ivanhoe. Barellan and Ivanhoe. Sorry, Barellan has dominated the season, but Ivanhoe has been the next in line, really. So Barellan, I think it's close to under. They were another one of those ones where I'm like, they could go through the season undefeated as a community club. They might win our community shield next year.
So it'd be interesting. It's Ivanhoe and Barellan in both men's and women's.
The women. I think from memory, I talked about the Barellan women's team at the start of the year, and they hadn't. This is their first year. These aren't big towns. For those who don't know the areas, you look around and you go, wow. I think. At least this year and last year, I was really interested, and I got a bit too interested in diving into the population figures of Ivanhoe. But I think we worked out like 15% of all men play rugby league in Ivanhoe because it's such a small town. But I think Barellan wasn't far off. Yeah. Barellan was it's like a 250 population sort of town. You take out the women and the kids and the elderly, there aren't a lot of players around to be playing. So not to just to field a team for these guys is pretty exceptional. But to be beating, I think Narrandera's got a few thousand people in it. So to actually dominate, not just win and dominate this year, Barellan, hats off to them. Yeah. So Barellan, Ivanhoe on the Proten final. As I said, we recorded this a bit earlier in the week, so we're still not sure where that'll be. Hopefully it'll be streamed for people outside of the Western Riverina area, that people will be able to watch it. And if we find out anything in BarTV, we will certainly share it for sure. One thing is guaranteed from what I've seen in previous years, it'll be a big day, and the crowds get out there, for the Proten Cup Grand Final. It's I don't think it's even necessarily the fans of the two clubs on the day. You get a few travelling fans from other teams that want to get out and celebrate and enjoy the end of the first grand final really of the season.
Yeah, absolutely.
Always is. It can hold that record. And
well, I'm sure Queenslanders would claim that they had the first grand final of the year. Was it the Mount Isa?
Sorry about that. Mount Isa was wrapped up.
I mean, we pick and choose when it's actually the Country Rugby League show, so we can.
That's
New South Wales Country.
True, but no, you're right. Yeah. Mount Isa have had their grand final. Maybe this is the first Southern grand final of the year. But it'll be a big day down. I'm assuming at Barellan. Yeah. I can't even actually get the info on that. But I'd say they're going to host the grand final.
Yeah, good luck to all teams involved and all the volunteers that put the Proten Cup together each year. They do an absolute fabulous job. And shout out to Deniliquin too. That was their first year back after a long break. So hopefully they bigger and better next year. Yeah, there are a few teams out there like that who've had their first years and they're either at the back end of them, and more power to them. There's been some great results there, and teams like Cootamundra and stuff and Deniliquin, fantastic. All right, that's the groups. Yeah, round the groups. Round the groups done. All right, we'll wrap things up, but first, here are our big hits of the week. So first up, Thomas Watego, Belconnen United Sharks down in Gungahlin territory.
Yeah.
Nice shot.
Yeah.
Cleaned him up, the second one.
I like the
second
response.
grab.
Yeah, right. I've got to finish this up. Yeah.
Then we head up to Sunshine Coast. Louis Garrity, the Maroochydore Swan.
Yeah.
It was like a double whammy. He's hit him, and it was
Yeah.
like that wave just crashes down on
He
top of
kept
you.
moving,
Yeah.
didn't he? It was just wild.
Jack Hooker, Burley Bears here, under 18s. Just
Damn. Oh,
love it when they get airborne.
yeah. Wrap the ball up. He did well to hold on to that ball because it could have easily popped out.
Still at Gold Coast, Chris Steele, Mudgee Bar, Redbacks, Doug Lip Cup. Just another one. Gets airborne and the ball dislodges. Good shot. And the unknown player, St Joseph's, down in the Southern Sydney competition. Just a nice little... I think that poor old... it was a Como Janelli player. I think he actually thought that the referee had blown the whistle. He just sort of stopped for a moment.
Yeah, you got to play to the whistle, or what do they say? But that's what happens when you don't.
Yeah. But, well done. Some big hits again. There was certainly plenty that we could have chose. If you've seen better, let us know. Contacts at bartvsport.com.au.
Yeah, fantastic.
All right. We'll get into what's happening this weekend on Bar TV.
Yep.
Group 7, round 15. 3 rounds to go after this week, but blockbuster on Saturday. Gerringong host Kiama.
Yeah.
That's an absolute ripper. We also got Milton Ulladulla v Shell Harbour. Now, Milton Ulladulla lost. I think they might be out of semi-final. I think mathematically there's still a chance, but Shell Harbour, I think they've dropped a couple of games.
There'll be pride on the line, though, I think, after last week with Kiama.
So that's another big game, the Bulldogs v the Sharks. Then Albion Park host Nowra, and then the Stingrays at home to Jamboree. Barry had the bye.
Yeah, and Illawarra round 13. We've got Corrimal hosting West, which will be an interesting game. This will be a big one. De La Salle, after their loss, up against Collies leading the comp, and Thurrool are up against Dapto.
Yeah, some good hard tussles there.
Yeah.
And Triple RL round 14 on Saturday. You have Mullumbimby hosting Evans Head. Then the rest all on Sunday. Bilambil v Morris Brothers. That will be a ripper. You got Northern United hosting Lower Clarence. Ballina at home to Murwillumbah, I should say. Casino at home to Kyogle. That's the feature match. Tweed Coast v Byron Bay, and Tweed Heads v Coogin. Beautiful thing up there is it's a top 6. It's really close. I think Kyogle, for memory, are in about 10th or 11th. The Casino is in 5th.
Yeah.
But Kyogle's 2 points out of the top 6. So that could be a real pivotal game.
And I early in the season tipped them as my comp winner. So I'm really sorry, Kyogle, for doing that. But anyway,
they beat Casino on the weekend. They'll be right in the mix
every
again.
possible chance. They got that Tane Robinson, they're like gun player. He's been playing great. Now down to Canberra, round 16. We've got Woden Valley hosting Gungahlin. Bell United are up against the Roos. Queanbeyan Blues are up against Tuggeranong.
Yeah, that's the feature match.
Yeah, what a game. Goulburn City against West Bell will be good as well.
Yeah, again, getting the pointy in 3 rounds remaining in Canberra, and Woden Valley's got to keep winning after losing 2 points for, I think they had a unregistered player one week.
Right.
Not too sure, don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
But so they're chasing Tuggeranong for that 4th spot. BRL round 18, Carina at home to Valleys, Logan hosts Wynnum, and Redcliffe and West Brisbane. That is the feature match.
Right down to Ipswich, we've got Brothers are up against Northern Tigers. Redbank Plains are hosting West End, and Ipswich Jets are up against Fassifern.
Yeah, fingers crossed it's a bit drier at Ipswich this weekend.
Yeah.
Sunshine Coast round 16, Beerwah at home to Nambour. Maroochydore do battle with Kawana. Coolum host Noosa, and then on Sunday it's Caloundra v Caboolture. Stanley have the bye.
Yeah, Newcastle Rugby League got some catch-up games from round 4 and 6. Macquarie are hosting the Entrance. Lakes are up against Central, and the Northern Hawks play Maitland.
Yeah, and also I've left that off the sheet. Sorry, Geoff.
Right.
Curry's at home to West. Now, with the rain, as I said, we're recording this Tuesday. A lot of those games are scheduled for Saturday, but there's a potential that they'll be moved to Sunday.
Yeah.
Some of those.
Yeah, there's a bit of rain on its way, but there'll be some good matchups there. The Entrance will want to rebound after last week, so
yeah, absolutely.
Loss. Right, yeah.
All right, it's my turn. Sorry.
No.
Knock-on Effect Cup, New South Wales, round 22. West host Canberra, Parramatta v Souths, Canterbury v Newtown, Dragons v the Warriors. That's 1v2. Warriors number 1, Dragons 2, but
Wow.
Dragons got a heavy loss against Newtown, so see how they go. Manly v Easts and Norths v Newcastle on Sunday. Penrith have the bye. East is Sydney. I call them East.
Yeah, of course. I don't. It's weird saying Sydney. Harvey Norman Premiership round 5. We've got South playing Canterbury, Newcastle hosting Mounties. West Tigers are up against Central Coast, and on Sunday, Wentworthville playing Cronulla, Parramatta hosting Penrith, and on Monday.
Yeah, the Monday night footy.
Monday night footy. We've got St George up against Illawarra. You couldn't get more of a derby game than that.
Yeah, and it's smack bang in the middle of Sydney.
Yeah, beautiful. Fantastic.
Let's hope the girls can knock off work a bit early to get to the centre of excellence.
It'll be great to watch.
Jersey Flag round 22. The Dragons v Warriors. West Tigers v Canberra. Canterbury v Cronulla. Parramatta at home to Souths. Newcastle host Melbourne. Manly v Central Coast. And Penrith v the Covidi Silktails at Windsor.
Yeah, in the Rod Massey Cup, we've got Canterbury playing Glebe and Wentworthville playing Blacktown Workers, with the rest of the teams enjoying a bye.
Proten Cup Grand Final, we just spoke about it around that group section. Barellan v Ivanhoe in both men's and women's. So check your socials to find out if that's being streamed. If you're in the West Riverina area and you can get to the game, well, make sure you do.
Yeah, that's right. And you can always check the BarTV app. It's very good, telling you what's upcoming. So maybe later in the week, if you're listening to this, you can just flick straight onto the BarTV app now if you're not watching us on it or listening to us.
If you're watching, listening, whenever you are, in the future, of course.
That's right. And you probably may know by then it'll be on the BarTV app as an upcoming game, or maybe later into the weekend it might be. So just keep an eye out.
Yeah. All right, mate. I think we're done. Any of those, I should ask, any of those fixtures tickle your fancy? You're going to head out anywhere on the weekend?
I would love to get to De La Salle and watch them play Collies. I'm really interested in Illawarra. The Collies seem to have emerged just about the time West's have kind of, the West's kind of dominance has cracked a little bit.
Yeah.
But De La Salle, last week I enjoyed that game, but I really thought, look, they're probably going to get over Dapto. Dapto having a great season. But that'll make that game on Sunday very interesting.
Yeah, so the Canberra comp's very interesting. Group 7, of course, but Triple RL, I really want to see how Maris Brothers go against one of the top teams, Belamble. I think that'll be a
that's
good one.
right. And Belamble, they really Belamble and Coogin looked like they were going to run away with it at the start of the year. Belamble's had a bit of a hiccup here and there in the back end of the season, so it'll be interesting to see what happens next.
Yep. All right, that's all from the CRL show this week. We'll be back next week. We'll catch you then.
Cheers.